You are listening to the Static Veil Podcast, Episode 1, The Boy in the Box. February 25th, 1957, a bitter winter day in Philadelphia's Fox Chase neighborhood. Wind cut through the empty fields, carrying with it a silence that felt heavy, unnatural. A man walked through the brush, setting muskrat traps. He wasn't looking for trouble, but as he moved through the weeds, his eyes caught something odd. A large cardboard box, half hidden in the undergrowth. Inside the box was a blanket. Inside the blanket was the body of a boy. He froze, heart pounding. The child looked about 4 to 6 years old, hair chopped unevenly, body bruised. For reasons still debated today, that man said nothing. He simply left the woods and the boy remained alone. Days later, another man, a young college student chasing a stray cat, stumbled onto the same box. This time, the police were called, and with them came one of America's greatest mysteries, the boy in the box. The box was a JCPenney bassinet carton, the kind used to ship a brand new baby crib. Instead, it held the remains of a nameless child. The boy's condition shocked investigators. He was malnourished, weighing barely 30 pounds. His body bore signs of abuse, small bruises, scars, and surgical marks. His haircut had been done recently, but so carelessly that clumps of hair stuck to his body. He was wrapped in a cheap plaid blanket. The official autopsy concluded the boy had died from blunt force trauma to the head. He had also suffered from neglect. His stomach was empty, his skin pale and fragile. Police hoped someone would come forward to identify him, but no missing child reports matched. No one stepped up to claim him. Desperate, detectives turned to the public. They printed more than 400,000 flyers with the boy's face and details, stuffing them into utility bills, hanging them in windows, passing them out on street corners. Billboards went up across Philadelphia. Newspapers covered the story relentlessly. In a controversial move, the police even dressed the boy's body in children's clothes, posed him in a chair, and photographed him. They believed someone might recognize him if he looked alive. The images were haunting, but they did not bring answers. Despite all this effort, silence. The boy was a ghost, unknown in life and unclaimed in death. Detectives scoured hospitals, orphanages, and schools across the region. The FBI got involved, helping search records for a child who fit the description. Nothing. Then came the first major theory, the foster home. Just a few miles from the crime scene was a foster residence with a troubling history. Neighbors whispered of abuse and neglect. Investigators learned that the home had purchased bassinets from JCPenney, the exact type of box the boy was found in. They also carried blankets similar to the one wrapped around him. The foster family was questioned, the property searched, but no evidence tied them directly to the crime. The suspicion lingered, but the trail went cold. Over the years, other leads trickled in. Tips about missing children from across the country. Parents who thought the boy might be theirs. But every time, the details fell apart. The longer the case dragged on, the stranger it became. Who was this boy? And why did no one report him missing? In 2002, a woman known as Martha came forward with a shocking story. She claimed her abusive mother had purchased a boy from his biological parents. For 2.5 years, Martha said the child was kept hidden in their basement, beaten, starved, and treated like a prisoner. One night, according to Martha, the boy vomited after a meal of baked beans. Her mother snapped, slammed his head against the floor, and killed him. Martha said she was forced to help wrap the body in a blanket, place him in a box, and dump him in the woods. The details were chilling. She even described small features on the boy that matched the autopsy. For a moment, it seemed like the case might finally be solved. But Martha's account fractured under scrutiny. She struggled with mental illness. Timelines shifted. Facts didn't always align with forensic records. Investigators couldn't prove her story, and it became another dead end. Other theories piled up. Some thought the boy belonged to a traveling circus family, abandoned on the road. Others believed he was an illegitimate child, hidden by parents who feared scandal. Some argued he was trafficked, sold, or the victim of a botched adoption. Each theory carried its own weight of horror, but none could be proven. The boy in the box became an obsession for both professionals and amateurs. The Philadelphia Inquirer covered the case for weeks. The public donated money for his burial. Psychics offered visions. Students wrote papers. Decades later, the Vidocq Society, a group of forensic experts and detectives, took up the case, poring over evidence, chasing new leads. They worked for free, driven only by the need to give the boy his name. The child was buried in a potter's field, his gravestone marked simply, "Heavenly Father, bless this unknown boy." Years later, his remains were exhumed twice for DNA testing. Each time, technology had advanced further, giving new hope, but results took time. For 65 years, the boy remained nameless. His case became a legend, America's unknown child. In 2022, the mystery finally cracked. Using modern DNA analysis and forensic genealogy, investigators traced the boy's family tree through distant relatives. Slowly, the pieces fit together. The boy was identified as Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born on January 13, 1953, 4 years old at the time of his death. His parents were identified, but authorities have not released details on whether they are suspects. What they have revealed is this: Joseph's death was ruled a homicide, and though his name has been restored, the mystery of who killed him remains unsolved. For the first time in more than 6 decades, the gravestone of America's unknown child bore his true name, Joseph Augustus Zarelli. From a cardboard box in the weeds to a proper headstone etched with his name, Joseph's story is one of tragedy, obsession, and the power of persistence. A nameless child became a national mystery. A mystery became an obsession, and an obsession, after 65 years, finally gave a boy back his name. But the final question remains: who took his life and why? You've been listening to the Static Veil podcast. Subscribe for more stories where the truth hides in shadows and mysteries refuse to die.